your reaction to Tank fighting Mr. Roach, Lamont Roach?
I mean, I think the online reaction is a little bit unfair. Like, everybody hates the fight.
Lamont Roach says he's ready to face Gervonta Davis, but talk is cheap when you're up against a knockout artist like Davis. Gervonta Davis doesn't just win, he dominates. Roach will have to endure a storm that few have survived, and this is exactly the outcome the experts are expecting.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together, and I'm gonna be the one.
Tim Bradley did not hold back when discussing the upcoming fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach. Bradley believes this matchup is a significant mismatch and criticizes the decision to make it a pay-per-view event. According to Bradley, Roach lacks the punching power to make the fight exciting and barely scraped by against Hector Garcia, a former opponent of Davis last year. Bradley argues that this fight being on pay-per-view will damage Davis's brand and disappoint the fans who pay to watch it. He feels that Davis' career has been characterized by carefully selected, less challenging opponents, which has prevented him from facing top-tier competition. Bradley sees this as a strategy that has inflated Davis' record while keeping real competition at bay, showing the quality of Davis' opponents and the impact of such fights on his reputation. Bradley is advocating for
fan of Tank. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of what he does and how the way he operates outside the ring, you know. And I
Lamont Roach, who holds a record of 25-1-1 with just 10 knockouts, is described as a pure boxer rather than a power puncher. His victories lack the impact typically seen in major championship fights. Initially scheduled for December 14th, the fight has been postponed to an undetermined date in January. Tim Bradley has been vocal about his skepticism regarding this bout. He finds it laughable that some fans believe Roach will present a tougher challenge for Gervonta "Tank" Davis than his previous opponent.
You talking about a sale? That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge numbers pay-per-view wise if both Lomachenko, the version that we just saw, and Tank, if he comes out clean, if they were to match up sometime in September or even December.
Frank Martin. Bradley argues that such fans who may not fully grasp the nuances of boxing are easily swayed by the hype surrounding Davis.
What are your thoughts on Gervonta Davis saying that he's going to walk away from boxing after 2025?
look, I don't blame him. I'll tell you that much. I don't blame him, man. This sport ain't no joke.
If the fight not there, you got to walk away, right?
Sport's no joke, man. He's made a lot of money.
Tom Bradley points out that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is currently a massive draw in boxing, which, while beneficial for business, also presents a significant downside. Bradley believes that Davis fans are so eager to see him fight that they will pay to watch him take on virtually anyone, regardless of their qualifications as top contenders. Bradley argues that Tank's promoters are doing him a disservice by allowing this to happen. By pitting Davis against fighters who aren't genuine threats, they risk diminishing his credibility and overall popularity. Fans don't want to shell out $75 for a pay-per-view event just to see Davis easily defeat an unworthy opponent. This strategy, Bradley contends, undermines Davis' status and could ultimately harm his standing in the boxing world.
Tank and Lamont Roach, is that the right opponent for Tank?
I don't know why everybody is kind of sleeping on Lamont, but he has a decorated amateur career too. He's a very steady kid. He's very skilled. Tank is Tank, you know. And when I say Tank is Tank, I mean like he's a bad man. He can fight and stuff. I know we had our dispute back and forth, whatever. But
Tim Bradley's frustration is palpable as he expresses his desire to see Gervonta "Tank" Davis face a true contender, a lion, as he puts it.
And like, you know, there's vulnerability there, you know, I believe with Tank as well. If you can take his power and you can beat on to the body and pressure him, and, you know, if you got a punch too to where he's respected, then, you know, he's beatable.
Bradley wants Tank to take on opponents with genuine talent who can challenge him in ways his previous adversaries have not. He believes that for Davis to become a true legend in the sport, he needs to step up and face formidable challenges, not just rely on his name and knockout power against clearly outmatched fighters. Bradley criticizes Tank's career trajectory, pointing out that it has been carefully managed to avoid real risks. He highlights that Tank's original promoters, Mayweather Promotions.
I want to see Tank get floored, and I want to see what he can do after
Whoa!
that.
Whoa!
I want to see him get floored, guys. I'm telling you. And if he does, and he gets up and he passes with flying colors and he figures out a way, he is a dog without a question. He'll be
went to great lengths to protect him from serious threats. Instead of matching Davis against the light fighters like Basil Lomachenko, his team chose safer options, such as older and smaller opponents like Yuriorkis Gamboa and Leo Santa Cruz. These matchups ensured Davis could continue his ascent without encountering significant challenges. Bradley emphasizes that this approach has been detrimental to Tank's credibility. He believes that by avoiding top-tier opponents, Davis' team has limited his potential to achieve greatness in the sport. For Bradley, it's crucial that Davis now takes on fights that will test his skills and push him to new heights.
looks like a total fraud. Put him in the ring with somebody that can punch back. This is the Tank Protection Program. This has been going along for a long time, people. Bringing fighters up from a lower weight class to get in there with Tank. Tank looks spectacular, but it's...
Although Tank is no longer with Mayweather Promotions, Tom Bradley believes the blueprint for his career hasn't really changed. He argues that Davis continues to be matched against fighters who are more likely to lose than win. Bradley has little faith that Lamont Roach will be any different from Tank's previous opponents. When asked if the fight between Tank and Roach should really be on pay-per-view, Bradley responds bluntly, "Hell no." He acknowledges their history, but feels that Tank is on a completely different level now, and Roach is not the caliber of fighter Tank should be facing at this point in his career. According to Bradley, Roach has been a pro for nearly a decade, but has yet to fight anyone considered top tier. Bradley believes that Tank's current matchups, including the upcoming bout with Roach, do not challenge Davis sufficiently and fail to elevate his career.
Because my son already faced Tank when he was only 15 years old, and Tank was about 30 pounds bigger than him, and when we sparred him, and my son, did really good with him.
He emphasizes that for Tank to truly prove his greatness, he needs to face fighters who pose a legitimate threat, rather than those who are simply stepping stones.
He's a guy that could give Tank some problems?
Stylistically, yeah. Stylistically, I think he'll give Tank some problems. He's a great counter puncher. He's big and he's strong. I would love to see that fight. Definitely love to see that fight.
Probably one of the most explosive matches you can make in boxing.
Think about it. Two power punchers with good skill sets.
When asked if the fight between Tank and Roach should really be on pay-per-view, Bradley responds bluntly, "Hell no." He acknowledges their history, but feels that Tank is on a completely different level now, and Roach is not the caliber of fighter Tank should be facing at this point in his career. According to Bradley, Roach has been a pro for nearly a decade, but has yet to fight anyone considered top tier. Bradley believes that Tank's current matchups, including the upcoming bout with Roach, do not challenge Davis sufficiently and fail to elevate his career. He emphasizes that for Tank to truly prove his greatness, he needs to face fighters who pose a legitimate threat, rather than those who are simply stepping stones. When asked if the fight between Tank and Roach should really be on pay-per-view, Bradley responds bluntly, "Hell no." He acknowledges their history, but feels that Tank is on a completely different level now, and Roach is not the caliber of fighter Tank should be facing at this point in his career. According to Bradley, Roach has been a pro for nearly a decade, but has yet to fight anyone considered top tier. Bradley believes that Tank's current matchups, including the upcoming bout with Roach, do not challenge Davis sufficiently and fail to elevate his career. He emphasizes that for Tank to truly prove his greatness, he needs to face fighters who pose a legitimate threat, rather than those who are simply stepping stones. When asked